Hi, welcome to Sisters in Law. I thought there was a little glitch there. My name is Judge T, and I'm here with my co-host,
Rosalyn Charles. How are you doing today?
There's a lot of things we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be covering the First Amendment. We know that there has been a new chair to the DNC, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the laws that are now affecting 45 and the laws that he's actually breaking. So let's start off, co-host.
Well, this week, as all the weeks that have been taking place since the inauguration, have been very interesting. Every day there seems to be something new in the news that one could find offensive, at least in my opinion is offensive. And I think one thing that you said to talk about the First Amendment, I think it's very great that more and more people are getting involved. There have been a number of town halls all over the country which have been quite boisterous and sometimes even ruckus and rowdy with respect to, and these are town halls that are held by both Democrats as well as Republicans. I think a lot of the Democrats are ducking, and some of the Republicans have ducked some of these town halls. But people are engaged. They want to know, what does this mean? And one of the themes of the town halls has been the potential repeal and replacement of the Affordable Care Act. People are now finding out that Obamacare is the Affordable Care Act.
Well, I just want to break in. One of the things that that's going on this year and it's only going to be going on in 2 states, and because we need to change, in order for us to change some of these laws that are coming up, we need to get more Democrats in the House of Representatives. Now, this year, unlike other years, there's only going to be 2 states that are going to be running congressional races this year. That's going to be Virginia and New Jersey. Now, here in New Jersey,
Democratic. I mean,
gubernatorial races.
Yes.
Now, Virginia's, my family's in Virginia, so you guys in Virginia make sure that you are voting. And for my family and friends here in New Jersey, we are supporting the Democratic candidate, which is, his name is Phil Murphy.
Yes.
He's married to his wife's name is Tammy, and they live in Monmouth County, where I'm from, Asbury Park. For those who are out there, shout out to my cousin Samantha and all of you guys in Asbury Park. So one of the things I wanted to kind of introduce the audience to Phil Murphy. As you look him up, he actually is a Goldman Sachs guy, like some of the many Goldman Sachs, but he put his money where his mouth is. He's actually contributed throughout the community in the state.
But once he left Wall Street, yes.
And probably $1 million out of his own pocket. Okay, he worked for Goldman Sachs for 23 years, but he has been the chairman of the Democratic National Committee. He was named by the acting Governor Cody to the New Jersey Benefit Task Force in response to the New Jersey pension crisis. Phil has worked with the Democratic Party very, very closely. He is also on many boards. He's on the board of the NAACP. And he is actually going to the inner city communities to speak and ask the community what it is that they are looking for.
He's been exploring the candidacy for the gubernatorial race in New Jersey for quite a while, but there are also other candidates that are out there on both sides. The Republicans, I believe, I'm not absolutely sure if this individual has declared, but the lieutenant governor under the current administration in the state of New Jersey,
under Christie,
may or indeed has in fact declared also. But I think one of the reasons that we bring this up is involvement, and we need to know the significance of these races. And there are majority Republican governors throughout the United States.
Yeah, they're more, right now, there are more Republican governors in states than there are even in actually what we call blue states, because New Jersey is a blue state and we have a Republican governor.
But I think the significance, it's just interesting that part of the significance of that is that when these federal laws and regulations, executive orders need to be challenged, 9 times out of 10, the Republican governors are not going to challenge a Republican president. You'll notice with the immigration litigation, those were Democratic governors and Democratic AGs who challenged the litigation. So it is important that we have at least a balance in power when it comes to the parties here.
Yeah, well, one of the things that Tom Perez, who's now the new head of the DNC, he also tapped actually his opponent Keith Ellison. That's going to be their job. It's going to be a full-time job to get more Democrats, and actually locally, I don't want to forget Ted Green. He's running for mayor of East Orange.
Okay, this is East Orange, New
Yeah,
Jersey.
this is East Orange, New Jersey, for those of you who live in East Orange. He's a lifelong resident of East Orange. He has also been, he was the head of the East Orange committee for the last 3 consecutive years. And he's somebody who has been, hitting the pavement since he finished high school. He graduated from East Orange High School and has stayed and maintained his life and his family in his community. So that's another person we want to make sure we give a shout out to, the mayor, hopeful mayor, new mayor of East Orange.
Well, and I think our general theme is that get involved, and not just get involved in terms of participating in town halls. You should know your congressman's number. You should know your local senator's number.
Absolutely.
When you have issues, you should know how to get involved. They don't like it when you call, or should I say it becomes a bother, and that bother often turns into action on your behalf. But if you remain silent, they think everything is okay, and therefore a lot of things just don't get done. So you should know all of their numbers, and maybe, just maybe, some of you, whether you are Democratic, Republican, or Independent, seek higher office, because it is important that we exercise our citizenship. That's what a democracy is about. It's not about sitting back and letting everybody else do what you think they should do. It's about you getting involved, you voicing your opinion, and hopefully channeling that into some kind of movement.
Well, 45 is going to, he's indicated he's not going to go to the correspondence dinner. Now, the correspondence dinner is actually...
Is this more on the media?
But it's the White House Correspondence Dinner. I mean, what's very important is the First
He's
Amendment.
not going to.
He's not going. It's like you having dinner at your house, and you go to a restaurant and you have a house full of guests. But
So
jokes aside,
who's going to represent the 45th? Spicer,
I have no idea. He hasn't said.
Or maybe they're just going to cancel it altogether.
Well, let me, audience, we said we want to bring you the law, and that's what's important. And the First Amendment, it reads, the Congress shall make no laws respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or the freedom of the press, that's the news, the right of assembly peaceably, that's the ability to march, as you see a lot of the marching going on, and the petition of the government and the redress of grievances. In other words, you can tell the president what your grievances are, and that's...
Well, the First Amendment's pretty broad, and now it seems, the 45th is indicate that the media is an enemy of the American people.
Well,
how can you
can't have the freedom of
the media?
But he used the media to his own advantage.
Oh, yes, all through his
the
campaign.
Entire campaign. He requested that people give him, keep leaking. And now, like I said, that he's the one who's getting a little soaked from these leaks. He doesn't like it anymore.
Yes.
But see, that's what the freedom of speech is about. But see, the difference in the freedom of speech, you have areas where the speech is not that really free. When you're talking about libel, slander, obscenities. Now, we know that he's full of obscenities. Slander. He slandered President Obama for 5 years. And the incitement of riots. Remember at his rallies, he would tell people to punch other people.
You're absolutely correct. It is not limited every place. But when you're dealing with public figures, they often get away with a whole lot. But not with respect to inciting riots.
You know what? President Obama took it like a man.
Yes. Okay.
Even at the roast. You're supposed to take it like a man.
You mean the roast?
45. Come on.
Okay. Well, he doesn't want
to put your big boy pants on.
And
go to the correspondence dinner.
Okay.
It's you can talk about everybody, but when somebody talks about you, your feelings get hurt. You can't. Come on, don't let your heart get in it.
Yes.
Be a man about it.
You're a public figure.
You're a public figure. You wanted this.
People love you and people dislike you.
You know
it
everything.
Comes with the territory. All right. But again, a lot has gone on this week. We've had the ruckus town hall meetings, and I won't even call them ruckus. I'll just say people are getting involved, and they're asking questions, tough questions. They're not letting their congressmen or their elected officials get away or sidestep the answers, which is what most politicians have a tendency to do. And let's see, what else happened this week? We had the CPAC.
Yes.
That is the Conservative Political Action Conference, and that's a conference that occurs quite regularly. And this time around, we actually had a sitting president attend the CPAC this year. Normally it's the candidacies, but on this particular occasion we actually had a sitting president. And in addition to the president, Steve Bannon addressed CPAC. Did you have an opportunity to view any of that, co-host?
I did. Kellyanne, actually, you know.
Kellyanne was there?
Kellyanne, you
Did
still...
she rename the CPAC?
She called it the TPAC. Trump PAC, because Trump...
Not Tea Party.
Oh, no. Trump PAC, honey. She said it's going to change the way the CPAC will now run itself.
45
Bannon was there.
Yes.
Darth Vader.
45 has rarely or never attended.
No, he did 2 years ago.
Okay.
He did
as a
2 years
candidate?
ago.
As a
No,
candidate?
not as a candidate. He attended.
Didn't he skip 1 year?
Last year.
When he was
skipped
actually
it.
running?
He
When he
skipped
was the
it.
nominee?
Yes, because they weren't.
Or before he got
They weren't as
before he got it.
positive about him last year, so it did not go off very
Okay.
well.
This is an organization, a very conservative organization. It's been around, I think, since 1973. And every year they do somewhat a straw poll on various presidential candidates, specifically Republican candidates, just to kind of gauge the conservative nature of those particular candidates. I don't think Donald Trump
but
ever
isn't it
won a straw poll.
coincidental that he's going to go to CPAC, but he's not going to go to a party that's going to be held and in the White House? The White House.
So you're going to equate the two?
Well, because no president has ever missed
The White House correspondence?
except only Reagan, and that's because that was the year that the assassination attempt.
Well,
so,
that's a good reason not to go.
So it's not, you can't compare the two.
Right.
No other president has ever not attended.
Well, we know the 45th walks to the beat.
But you cannot be thin-skinned. You
Do you
can't.
think it's because he's thin-skinned, or you think he's just trying to show us a new political order?
Well, I just think he's a punk.
Right.
That's what. Well, let me get on to something more important. One of the other legal issues that we have concern with is, and a lot of folks have asked about, what is the emolument clause?
Because what is the emolument?
The emolument clause is something that we knew. I'm going to throw my glasses on because I want to make sure that I give you the law exactly.
This is part of the U.S. Constitution.
Actually, the emolument clause is Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution. It says,
just before you start reading, the significance of the emoluments clause is, in general, is that the 45th, in your opinion, is violating it.
He is violating it. No, that's part of my impeachment.
Oh.
You're
drawing up articles of impeachment?
Don't even think when I'm giving you the law. All the law that I'm giving you are the reasons why we should impeach this fool. Okay, the emolument clause is no title of no notability shall be granted by the United States. That means no nobility title. You're not a king.
Okay, so
no nobility title.
The 45th thinks he's a king,
and he thinks he's a king. Remember, the House, and then he said we will bow down.
Okay,
they always bow down to kings.
All right.
No person holding any office of profit or trust with them shall, without the consent of Congress. In other words, they cannot accept any gifts. Now, let me tell you what the word emolument actually means. You cannot get profit, salary, employment, compensation of services.
Are you suggesting that the 45th is in some way in violation of the emoluments clause? I mean, who would bring such an action?
Well,
is it all his businesses all over the world? Is
it
the hotel across the street from the White House?
Is where
it Mar-a-Lago? Is it?
Oh no, it's much deeper than that.
Is it?
You know what? They want to be, as they say, strict constitutionalists.
Yes.
Well, the founding fathers. I sometimes when I say the founding fathers, sometimes it kind of gets me a little worried about it. But when the founding fathers, because when this was founded, we weren't necessarily the children that they were talking about.
Well,
but the founding fathers
back
put
in 1776.
the founding fathers put the emolument clause into place, coincidentally, to prevent corruption, characterized as gift giving,
Yes.
Back scratching, you know, that you give me, I give you, foreign interference like Russia, and other countries from transactions that may lead to or give the appearance.
Of
It doesn't. You don't
impropriety,
actually
the
have to
appearance of
do something
impropriety.
legal.
Yeah.
If it gives the appearance of impropriety, and that is why one of the main issues, I'm going to go back to why we need to see the taxes. But let me give you some places.
Well, that's why we need to see the taxes. That's why he needs to give up his interest in all of his businesses.
That is what...
And not let his sons just...
Now, putting it in trust was one of the suggestions that they have. But putting it in trust means he has absolutely no connection with his businesses at all. And
Well,
I don't
putting it in
think...
trust for who to run.
Exactly.
That's the issue.
But these are some of the places where he actually has businesses. 45 has businesses in Argentina, Azerbaijan, Bermuda, Brazil, Canada, China, where he gets his suits from. His
Would it
suits
be
and
safe
ties.
to say all over the world?
Egypt,
Qatar?
and, yeah, even in Qatar, who is
Parts
not
of the
one of
Middle
the
East.
not one of the seven countries.
Parts of the Middle East. Well,
yes.
you know, there was a good reason for the 7 countries that were put on the Muslim ban.
Egypt, India, Indonesia, Ireland, Scotland, where he had the big ribbon cutting
All
in
right,
the
so
middle.
there are a lot of areas where
A
the
lot
45th,
of
there
areas.
could be an appearance of impropriety based
This
on
one
Trump enterprises,
is the
for
biggest,
lack of a better word.
The biggest of all of them is the Bank of China. The Bank of China is the largest lender to Trump.
Wow.
45, and the reason why I'm now
How do we-
saying his name is because the Bank of China is housed on the first floor of Trump Tower.
In New York?
In New York, all of us who are New Yorkers, it is the first floor is the Bank of China.
Oh my
Now
goodness.
the Bank of China is his biggest lender and his biggest occupant of the Trump Tower.
Again,
so
the appearance of
the
impropriety.
appearance of
He may not
impropriety.
be doing anything
Well, if you
wrong,
put it in
if you
blind
will.
trust, then we would have
we-
some,
assurance.
well, a little bit of assurance, but we haven't got past
Unprecedented.
the fact that he has not, showed us his taxes. So we don't know exactly. But like you said, because we don't know, that is the...
And it wouldn't just be his personal tax.
That's
It'd be
the appearance.
It'd be the
his business
his
tax
taxes as
as
well.
well.
Everything
As well,
All
as
right.
well.
So, all right. So that's the emolument clause.
Now, you remember when we're talking about compensation, if he's going to have, because he also has his daughter and her husband working with him in the White House. She also runs some of these businesses.
Now, his daughter Ivanka actually works in the White House, or is she
Well,
just there?
her husband
He's an
is the advisor, so I mean, she's playing first lady right now. So,
all right, that's a way of looking at it.
She doesn't
but
have
clearly-
a title. She is
Well, it's clearly the children-
daughter-in-chief and representative
But
of
clearly, the
wife.
children of the 45th are clearly allowed to visit at the White House.
But
and spend
they
some time
are
there.
being compensated, so their compensation is his compensation through their business. Because anyone who thinks that when they visit their father, they don't have a discussion about the businesses that they're running.
Well, you're talking
that's
about
that's
if
just
indeed,
being ignorant.
If indeed, because he's indicated that he's going to allow his children to run the businesses, and that's indeed what he's doing.
Oh, so
at
they're
this
going to
point.
have Christmas dinners and children
Not
coming
discuss-
over and not
and
discuss
so the
how
whole
well his
point
businesses are going.
Exactly. The whole point is even if he were the most honest person in the world, and maybe he is, I don't know,
please.
but nonetheless, it kind of it begs credulity that they wouldn't be discussing.
Well,
or, hey, Ivanka, how are you doing X, Y, and Z in the business I used to run personally? I understand.
This is my next impeachable, because I'm giving you
Article 1 of the your
Section
impeachment.
9.
But the first article of impeachment is the violation of the emoluments.
Clause.
Okay, so you got a second article right now.
Well, this is not an
Where are you
article.
grabbing
It is
these things out of the air?
the fitness of the mental fitness of the president. Now, I don't know if some of you are as much of a history person that I am, but back when Goldwater in 1963
Where are you
was running for president.
Wait.
The
That's
psychiatric,
a long time ago.
I'm going to roll
He
it up.
wasn't even president.
The psychiatric
running.
community wrote a letter
I think Hillary was on his
indicating
team.
that said that the man is a madman.
Based on what?
Just that some of his extreme.
Did they actually examine him?
But see, back then, they made the psychological community made a clause that you cannot determine the psychological stability without first examining.
Okay.
But however,
okay. Is this the psychological as well as the psychiatric community?
and psychiatric community. But there's a change. There has been a big change. So because now they in the
do we want to just? Okay, we're back. We had a little glitch there.
well the DSM.
Another little glitch.
All right, what we're gonna do is take a 30-second and restart.
Okay. We'll be
Don't
back.
Go
We're
anywhere.
gonna be talking
Stay
about
there.
the mental
30
fitness of the
seconds and
45th.
restart.
Take care.